want to start in what is the classic fontana. If you're doing this by hand, of course, you can always do this in a machine, which is what most people do today because no one seems to have time to make fresh pasta. But I always think that this is the most in tune you're ever going to be.
It feels good.
It feels good, and it's what I'm used to from making pasta many times at home. So we're going to do it in a fontana. So we've got about 2.5, 3 cups of flour here, and we want to start with 4 eggs. And look at the yolks on these. Aren't they gorgeous? That's because in Italy, these chickens really eat the right stuff. So we're going to do, why don't you put a pinch of salt around there. We may not use all of this flour. It just depends. It just depends on how much these eggs are going to take. So I always say, there is no classic recipe for making pasta. It's all in the feel of the hands, and that comes with experience. So go ahead, start from the inside. I always keep one hand out here just to control that flour wall as I'm going along. Go in kind of a circular motion with that fork. And now you start bringing some of this flour in, see, to make a dough that's going to, excuse me, hold together. So you only want to bring in enough flour that's going to make a dough. So to help you do that, I use a bench knife, which is right here. So I'm going to push some of this flour away. And the best place to make pasta is on a wooden board. And we have to do something to this. Once we have it where we want it, we have to allow this to rest, to relax that gluten that's in the flour. Okay, Nadine, here is our rested dough 30 minutes later. You want to feel that? It's nice and soft. Now, we may have to add some flour to this, yeah. So I'm just going to, knead it just a few minutes here. And then we're going to cut this up. And try to move the handle in a kind of a rapid motion so you don't stick.
Okay.
All right, this is looking good. Very stretchy. Again, I'm just going to give that just a smidge.
Do you want me to go to 6?
Go to 6.
Right.
And we're ready to go. And we put it in again.
I know, go ahead. Between the two of us, sorry.
6 gives us an even longer sheet.
Great.
About 1.25 pounds of the dough that we made. That was about 1.25 pounds. You can get enough pappardelle to serve 4 to 6 people. Remember that any pasta course in Italy is a first course. So you're not going to be eating a huge serving of it. You're going to be eating a moderate amount of pasta. 4 ounces is really what Italians like as a first course. And now, Nadine, we are going to make la salsa di funghi misti for the pappardelle.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay, so we're going to put some olive oil, about 3 tablespoons, I would say, in a saute pan. And here we have a little garlic. So we're going to add about 2-3 cloves of garlic. And what we want to do here is just flavor this oil. Right. So I'm going to let you press on that.
All right.
Let's flavor that oil a little bit.
And I know you never want to burn it.
We don't want to burn it. I never burn garlic.
You never.
So, here we have some plum tomatoes. Plum tomatoes, San Marzano type. You need about 3 pounds. That would be about, I would say, 10 to 12 tomatoes, medium size. Let's put in the mushrooms. We need about 12 ounces, 3/4 pound of mushrooms. So there go our porcini. Don't they look beautiful?
Oh, they look gorgeous.
Mix that around.
Oh, it smells so good.
And this is an easy sauce. It's not a complicated sauce at all. And we're going to add our button mushrooms. They all go in there.
Okay.
So get those going.
Get them going.
And what we want to do is just allow these mushrooms to cook down
it smells wonderful.
Until they start to exude their juices a little bit. Let's give this a little bit of sale marino. And we want to give it a little pepe. I love pepper and everything, so I gave it a little extra. And we're just going to now cook this down. So we want to put a cover on this and let it go for about 2 minutes.
Okay.
So, Nadine, that looks good.
It does.
Soft enough. Got a little liquid there. So now we add our tomatoes. While I do this, I want you to mince up that fresh mint for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I need about 1/3 cup. Okay. So in go our tomatoes. And we're going to allow these to cook down for about 3 to 4 minutes or so. So mix that all around with the mushrooms. And then we're going to cover this again. And at the end, we're going to add the mint because we don't want to add the mint as we're cooking. I don't like to add herbs as I'm cooking because the heat destroys the flavor.
Right. You just
of
want
the
to
herbs.
put
You
it
want
in
to
at
put
the
it
end.
at the end so you really get the punch. And we know it's ready because when you take a piece of this and cut it in half and don't see any flour, uncooked flour, you know that that's cooked.
All right.
And look at how clear that water is.
It is.
That's because this is not a starchy pasta. We didn't use a lot of flour with this.
You're right.
So I'm
It's
using a
very
scuola
clear.
pasta to get it out of the water. And usually pasta is returned to the saucepan from where you made the sauce, and it's combined there. Italians don't just put a glob of sauce on top of pasta.
Right.
They combine it very well with the pasta in the pan, and then they put it into a serving plate. Now, the trick is take a little bit of this water, because that has good starch in it, and that's going to help that sauce adhere to the pasta. So you want a couple tablespoons.
All right.
Let me get that last.
Can you grab it?
Got it?
Hooked it.
Okay, in we go.
All righty.
All right, and
I
now
think that's about
you
2 teaspoons.
get to stir this beautiful dish of pappardelle. Look at this with
It
this
looks fabulous.
sauce.
The colors are wonderful.
So I'm going to let you stir that.
All righty.
Stir it really well.